How's it going, everybody? Ian back with another video. Today is going to be a weekly reading update. And then I've got a small book haul from the library, and then I bought two books. The library, it's all the part of the same series that I've decided that I'm going to finish. I started it a few years ago, and I'm gonna finish it. So anyway, let's get into what I have been reading. First off, I have not been reading this yet. I don't know what I'm saying because this is the first book. Next week is when I am going to be starting the first Wheel of Time book. I have read this before 4 years ago, but I did not continue with the series. I don't remember anything that happened. I remember maybe bits and pieces what happened in this book. I remember I gave it a 3-star on Goodreads, but I also heard this, The Eye of the World, correct me if I'm wrong, is one of the weaker books, I guess, is what I've heard. And apparently it gets better from there. Then there's that Slog, which I'm dreading, and I think it starts around like books 8, 9, 10, I think. And then I think Sanderson took it over because Robert Jordan died, and I believe it ended really, really well. The Slog, I'm thinking, is my guess is it might be considered like the Slog because people had to wait 2 or 3 years between books, and so that would suck. Me, I get to read them and then go right on to the next one within the next month. So hopefully that won't be an issue. But yeah, a lot of people have been warning me about the Slog. But I did hear that the Eye of the World was one of the weaker books, I guess, if you say that. Like I said, I did read it a long time, 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't remember much. So I don't know if that's any indication. But I was just getting into fantasy books at that time. So this is next week. If you guys want to come, Jose over at Amazing Worlds is going to be joining. I believe John at shoot. Hey, I'll listen up. That's what it was. Oh man, I keep on forgetting. But they're going to be joining. So, and I think a few other people are going to be joining. So if you all want to read at your own pace, I'm going to be starting in January. Or next week, probably right before the new year, just to get a head start on it, I guess. Probably read a chapter a day for a little bit, and then hopefully I'll pick up when I have a little bit more time. But yes, Eye of the World will be starting sometime late next week. So I'm looking forward to that. And then what I'm reading, I decided I don't really do rereads. I've done. Well, I guess that's kind of a reread, The Eye of the World. Yeah, I already read it, but I don't remember anything. But that has an end goal in mind. I was looking at my shelves and I found this book, The Great Zoo of China by Matthew Reilly. I read this 5 or 6 years ago, really loved it, and decided I want to reread it. It's pretty short. It's only like 300-something pages. Basically, this is Jurassic Park with dragons, but it's Matthew Reilly, and Matthew Reilly is like a summer blockbuster on steroids. Amazing writing. He writes a lot of great action scenes. One of my favorite authors. Highly recommend picking up anything by Matthew Reilly. But this is a standalone. He's got a Jack West Jr. series that I always talk about that you guys are probably sick of me talking about. That is amazing. One of the best book series ever. It's like Indiana Jones on steroids. So Matthew Reilly, The Great Zoo of China, Jurassic Park with dragons on steroids, basically. So I cracked this one open. I'm about 50 pages in. I remember some of the events in this book, so that's kind of cool. I might start rereading my books. I really want to reread the Pines Deep Trilogy by Jonathan Mayberry, who we're going to get to in a little bit in my haul, because that is, in my opinion, one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Horror trilogy as well. So we have Matthew Reilly's Great Zoo of China. And I am right now reading, speaking of Jonathan Mayberry, Assassin's Code. This is the 4th book in the Joe Ledger series. Joe Ledger is basically, him and his crew are like a special undercover group. and they go after supernatural elements, I guess. First book dealt with zombies, but it's not like the zombies in the traditional sense. It's zombies in this mad scientist made some sort of serum that turned people into zombies. So it's kind of like that. This one deals with vampires, but it's got that different take, you know, how the vampires were actually created in a lab by another mad scientist. So the first few books in this trilogy, or this series, not trilogy, I gave the first one 3 stars and the rest like 1 or 2 stars. I didn't like them. This one I'm enjoying, and I decided to get back into this series. And then next book that I'm going to read right after that one is I need to get back into Jim Butcher. This is Grave Peril. This is the 3rd in the Dresden Files. These are pretty short reads. This is 400 pages. And I want to continue on with this series. The first book I loved. Second book, for some reason, it didn't catch me, so I stopped. And now I decided I'm going to get back into it because a lot of people are talking about it. And then what is this, 12th, 15th something book out? So that's next. All right, on to the book haul. These are 2 books that I bought. I bought Brian Ruckley's Winter Breath. I saw this on somebody's channel that I can't remember anymore. But this is kind of poor man's Game of Thrones, I guess. That's what I've heard it described as. That might be mean, so never mind. But yeah, just a nice little sword fantasy, I guess. Not a whole lot of magic, but that's what I hear. And then I bought The Legacy of Steel by Matthew Ward. This is the 2nd book in the Legacy trilogy. I have the first book up there I showed a while ago, another big chunker. And the reason I bought this, so it is the 2nd in the series, and I haven't read the first one, so I'm you know, it was $15, so I'm kind of taking a leap here. But the reason I bought this book is up on the top here. Hugely entertaining by John Gwynne, my favorite author. John Gwynne has a blurb on the first book and this book. If he liked it, if it's his kind of stuff, I should like this. And I read the back, and it seems right up in my wheelhouse. So that is the 2nd. I have no idea when I'm going to get to it. Hopefully in the next year here when I'm reading, finish a Wheel of Time book, since I'm doing one a month, finish one of those in a week, 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks of that month read the Steel series or Legendary. What am I talking about? The Legacy trilogy. All right. On to the books I got from the library, and these are all by the same author. I have no idea which way they're coming in, but they are part of the Joe Ledger series. This is Kill Switch by John. These are all by Jonathan Mayberry. Code Zero. Extinction Machine. Dogs of War. Predator 1. Deep Silence, and this is a spin-off of Joe Ledger series. First in that one, I think this is his newest book, Rage. So, all these Joe Ledger books, for some reason, I don't know why the first few did not grab me. So I'm giving them a different, I keep on, I want to enjoy them. And so far, Assassin's Code I am enjoying. So I will continue with that series and get it done. So anyway, that's all I got. Have a good one, everybody.